On Thursday, June 26, 2025, I got the chance to experience Cedar Point's newest roller coaster, Siren's Curse, for the very first time. Siren's Curse is a tilt coaster by Vekoma, standing 160 feet in the air, the 90-degree drop, reaching speeds of 58 miles per hour. In this video, I'm going to go over everything that you can expect from the entry experience, the queue line, what's the locker situation, how are the restraints, and how does it ride? My name is Tyler from Stapled Media, and if you enjoy roller coaster content, I highly suggest you subscribe to this channel. It's a great way to show your support, and it's completely free to do, so go ahead and click that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments if you've gotten the chance to ride Siren's Curse and what you guys think. But with that out of the way, let's get into the review. This is my full thoughts on Cedar Point's newest roller coaster, Siren's Curse. When you first walk up to Siren's Curse, the entrance is going to be right across the pathway from Iron Dragon, just behind Valraven and kind of on the way towards Millennium Force. A lot of people were concerned that this ride would be kind of the same gimmick as Valraven, but I assure you that is definitely not the case. We'll get more into how the tilt feels later on in the review. Entering Siren's Curse, you're going to notice a lot of atmospheric audio, music, and honestly, for Cedar Point, quite a bit of theming. This is definitely the best themed attraction at Cedar Point currently. It's honestly extremely well done. You'll notice a lot of shipping containers all over the place labeled Erie Freight Company. Siren's Curse has this very haunted boathouse kind of feel. I mean, the ride is themed around the legends of sirens luring sailors to their doom with their songs. And the queue line definitely gives off that vibe. The water around the area is dyed like purple. It's really, really cool. This is something I wasn't expecting with this ride because it went up so quickly. The ride actually has quite a few water elements and effects while you're on the ride too. There's this one moment where you dive underneath the queue line through a tunnel filled with smoke. The supports are also really well done. The supports that are over land are all rusted and decayed, and the supports that are over water look like they have vines going up the sides. You're also going to find rubble, campfires, supplies, just a whole bunch of stuff scattered all throughout this queue. And the coaster from the queue looks absolutely fantastic. You get a lot of really good visuals of the layout. Overall, I was extremely impressed with the queue line, and the audio is just so good. When I rode this with Jake, the first thing that we thought walking into the queue is, oh my gosh, are we going into a haunt? Like, if you've been to, like, Not Scary Farm, walking into a haunt, it kind of has that atmosphere to it, even during the day. Queue line is an absolute win. Theming is perfect for Cedar Point. It looks phenomenal. Right before you approach the stairs to go into the station, you're going to come across some free double-sided lockers. These work a little bit differently than the ones at Steel Vengeance, where you select like a color and a symbol. This one you have to type in a code, and then you punch in that code on the locker itself as well. It's actually really streamlined, pretty simple to use. I'd prefer the version at Steel Vengeance, but this definitely serves its purpose. And again, they're completely free. You do not have to pay for a locker if you have a cell phone, wallet, or even a small fanny pack that you want to put away. Larger bags and backpacks and merchandise will have to go into a paid locker outside of Siren's Curse next to the gift shop. But if you have the all-day transferable locker, that does work for this ride. After you put away your stuff, you do have to go into a metal detector. Nothing is allowed in your pockets, but if you have an Apple Watch or something along that line, like a smartwatch, you are okay to wear it. Sunglasses are also okay if you have an athletic strap, but Cedar Point sells those all over the park. If you have sunglasses or prescription glasses, I do highly recommend getting an athletic strap from any of the gift shops. Once you pass through the metal detectors, you're up the stairs and in the station. And my first thoughts of the station, I saw it from outside the park when I did a little walk around the perimeter of the property my first day, and I thought that it looked kind of weird. I turned to Jake and I'm like, dude, is this done? Like, it looks like it's still being built. It looks very unfinished from the outside, but when you're at the ride itself, walking up those stairs and going into the station, it fits the vibe perfectly. There's also some really cool lighting in the station. It usually illuminates, I think it's like a greenish, purplish color, and then it changes color when the train is dispatched. It's really, really well done. There is signage all over the ride saying that you cannot select your row, that there's no preferred seating. However, I went for a special preview event 2 days before the ride opened, and for the first couple of rounds, they were not letting us choose our seating, but later into the event, they started allowing us to do so. I rode Siren's Curse in pretty much every row on the train. I rode it 7 times that night, front, middle, back, all over the place. I feel like I got a pretty good feel for it, but if you were to be able to select your row, I highly recommend closer towards the back. It definitely provides a much more intense ride experience. Front row is cool too. You do get that really cool visual of the track tilting down and connecting, but I honestly think that the tilt is a lot better in the back. These are Vekoma's newer trains. They have the vest, but the vest isn't too restrictive. I definitely prefer it over the B&M vest and the RMC Raptor vest. I think it's a lot more comfortable than that, and the lap bar itself is perfect. Even if you're stapled, these ride operators were pushing these lap bars down heavy. Even if you're stapled, it really isn't that bad. It's still very, very comfortable. As soon as you dispatch out of the station, you're going to start hearing onboard audio, and it starts out by being very calm and peaceful. You hear seagulls and you hear singing of the sirens, and it's very pretty. As you go up the lift hill, you start to hear the sirens speak in your ears, luring you in with their voice and their song. Once you lock into the tilt track itself, you're going to start hearing a creaking sound, and then the siren's voice gets more angry. It says something along the lines of prepare to meet your doom. I can't remember exactly what it is, but once that's said, the bass drops in the music and the track releases. This tilt is really cool. It feels way better in the back. When you're in the middle or the front of the train, it's not quite as good, but if you're towards the back, the tilting sensation as you tilt upwards is absolutely freaky. Once the train releases, the music changes into some more heavy metal style of a soundtrack. It's really cool, but it really fits the ride great. Got like that double bass drum and that heavy distorted guitar riff. It's really, really something cool. The layout itself has a couple of cool standout elements. That first roll is excellent. To me, it feels like a little bit more of a tame Mosasaurus roll from Velocicoaster. Still gives the same kind of feeling and sensation, but not quite as intense. The triple down that kind of has a trick track on the way down, that third airtime hill on the way down into the smoke, is my personal favorite moment of airtime on the ride, and there's this super low to the ground wave turn towards the end of the layout that's also really fantastic. One of the things that I was honestly expecting with Siren's Curse was a lot of positive G-forces, looking at how tight the layout is. However, I do have to say, I was a little bit underwhelmed with the positive G-forces on this ride. Don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of positives, but I thought it would be quite a bit more intense than it actually was. I have a whole video of Jake and I's first reactions to the ride when we were at the park. If you want to see our first reactions, we rode in the middle and then in the front. We said it was pretty tame from what we were expecting. Now, it's not quite a family coaster tame, but it's definitely not as intense as something like Maverick or Millennium Force that you'd also find in the park. However, when we rode towards the back, things started to pick up, and it definitely felt more intense, especially in the negative G-force department. There's some really good ejector airtime in the back row. At the end of the day, though, Siren's Curse is not the most intense ride, but I feel like anybody can ride it. It's good for anybody. Little Timmy can ride it, and Grandma Betsy can ride it. I feel like anybody could get some enjoyment out of Siren's Curse, and I feel like for Cedar Point, that's an absolute win. The thing that really stood out about this ride to me is just how much thought was put into the attraction. When you hit the brake run, for example, you would expect that to just be it. Like, you hit the brake run and you're stacking there and you're just sitting there. No, the audio is perfectly queued up with the control system of the ride. So when you're stacking on the brake run, you hear the sirens singing and you hear waves crashing and you hear seagulls calling. Once the train starts to pull forward out of the brake run, it does this safety exit spiel in the headset of the train. It's really great. It's really, really well done and thought out, and I absolutely love the onboard audio system on Siren's Curse. I really hope more roller coasters implement this at other parks in the future. The one that I'm most looking forward to that I really hope has onboard audio is the new Vekoma roller coaster going to Six Flags Magic Mountain. Honestly, I feel like that would be great if it had onboard audio just like Siren's Curse. Siren's Curse without the onboard audio would not be nearly as good as it is with it. So, at the end of the day, I think Siren's Curse is an absolutely fantastic addition to Cedar Point. While not as intense as I was expecting, the layout is still really great. It's good for everybody of all ages. I believe it has a 48-inch height requirement, which is absolutely fantastic. I love the addition of the double-sided lockers that are free when you get right to the end of the queue. I think that in general, this ride is just absolutely fantastic. One of the best roller coasters at Cedar Point. It's in my top 20, and I'm going to give it a final score of 9.5 out of 10. If I could change anything about Siren's Curse, it would be to get rid of the vests on the Vekoma trains, just have that lap bar. I feel like that would make the tilt even more freaky. But it's practically a perfect roller coaster. You put that in a park like Knott's Berry Farm, that would be like the best coaster in the park. I feel like Siren's Curse rivals Ghost Rider. It's that good. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about Siren's Curse in the comments below. Have you ridden it? If not, what are you most looking forward to about it? And yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next one.